Hi children, good morning. Welcome back to our geography class. In our last class in agriculture chapter, in part 2, we have discussed about types of farming, that is subsistence and commercial farming. Today also, we are going to learn the remaining types of farming, that is commercial farming. Okay. See, yesterday we have discussed about subsistence farming. It is further classified into intensive subsistence and primitive subsistence. In the primitive subsistence, we have discussed about shifting cultivation and nomadic herding also. And in today, we are discussing about commercial farming. And this commercial farming is again classified into commercial grain farming, mixed farming, and plantations. So let's see the commercial farming, children. In commercial farming, crops are grown and animals are reared for sale in the market. It means for selling in the market. They'll grow the whole crop for selling only, not using for their own purpose. So the area cultivated for this kind of farming is a large area. It means the farmer grows the crop over the 100 hectares of land. Okay, so and also the amount of capital which is invested in this kind of farming is also large. So most of the work is done by the machines because the land is so large. So the farmer can use sophisticated machines like threshers, harvesters, seed drills, and some kind of well developed technological machines also can be used in this kind of farming. So commercial farming is also further classified into commercial grain farming, mixed farming, and plantation agriculture. So let's see each one of them in detail. Commercial grain farming. Children, commercial grain farming, children, this is the farming where the farmer grows the crops for commercial purpose. I told you this is fully for selling purpose in the market. So the wheat and maize are the most commercially grown, commonly and commercially grown grains. So major areas where commercially grain farming is practiced are temperate grasslands of North America, Europe and Asia. So in these four countries, they grow this kind of what children? Commercial grain farming. These areas are sparsely populated. It means what? Thinly populated. Because the population is less, so large amount of area is available for growing of such kind of farming. So severe winters restrict the growing season. Here, no, in the Asia and North America, these kind of countries, children, they have snowfall in the winter season. So it restricts the growing season. That is why they grow only one crop in a year. That's called single crop is grown means what, children? One crop in a year. Okay. Now let's see mixed farming. In mixed farming, the land is used for growing food and fodder and also rearing for livestock. So same like commercial grain farming only. In commercial grain farming, one kind of crop they'll grow, but in mixed farming, three kinds of things they do in the same plot of land. Okay, some part of the land is spared for growing of food grains like wheat or maize, and some kind of land they spared for growing of fodder for the animals like grasses, different variety of grasses they grow, and some kind of area they spare for rearing of livestock. So in that way they do mixed farming. This kind of farming is practiced in Europe, Eastern USA, Argentina, Southeast Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa, children. Now let's go for the plantation agriculture. Plantations. What is plantation, children? Here, a single type of crop which is grown for long years. For example, tea, coffee, these kind of crops, no children, you need not harvest every year. Once a tea plant is grown, you will get the production for 20 years. Even coffee also same thing. Even rubber, children, once a plant, rubber sapling is sown, you can grow the rubber plant for 50 years. And a single rubber plant gives you the sap of the rubber for 50 years. Whereas if you go for the sugar cane or banana or cotton, children, one single year they take off for growing. Okay, and then cashew nuts also, cashew nut trees, they grow for long years, 20 years you can grow. It gives the production for 20 years. So this is called plantation agriculture. In this plantation agriculture, children, a large amount of labor and capital is required. So that too, for tea and coffee plantations, it requires skilled labor. So that's when very often they say this plantation agriculture is also called as labor intensive cultivation or labor intensive farming. So sometimes, most of the times, children, the produce, it means whatever produce they may get, the farmer gets, he process the produce in the farm itself or in the nearby the factories by establishing the factory, processing factory in the farm itself, okay? So he processed the produce to retain its freshness. For example, tea leaves, no children, leaves, no, if the water content in the leaf evaporates, the leaf will not have its retain its freshness. That's why as soon as the labor cuts the leaves, they process the leaves in the industry in the farm itself or nearby the factories. Okay, then a well developed network of transport and communication are much essential for plantation agriculture. Okay, children, the next one, this kind of plantation agriculture are very much suitable and widely practiced in tropical regions of the world. For example, we grow in India we grow tea. Sri Lanka also they grow tea. And Malaysia it is suitable for growing of rubber. So they grow most widely rubber. In Brazil they grow most widely coffee. Likewise, rubber in Malaysia, coffee in Brazil, tea in India and Sri Lanka. So that's all for today, children. Thank you. Stay tuned.